Good morning, African Stars International School Grade 6 learners. I am Mr. Julius, your Grade 6 agricultural teacher. Welcome to our first lesson, and our topic for today is plant production. Okay, we're going to look at plant production. But in this topic, I want us to talk about transplanting seedlings. Okay. Now, what are seedlings? If you are talking about transplanting seedlings, just know that seedlings are those young plants, okay? Young plants, we call them seedlings. And what is transplanting? This is an act of removing seedlings from one location to another location, okay? I can say this is an act of moving seedlings from one place to another place. Okay, as you can see in these pictures, in first we have our seedlings in containers. You can see that we have these plants in containers. Then later we can see that they are being transplanted in beds. Okay, and they say some plants do better if they are sown in seed boxes. Okay, seed boxes can be a container, okay, first, and transplanted into beds later. Okay, and these beds are just when you are planting them in ground where they can grow forever. Okay, it's where they stay forever. That's why we call those beds. And sometimes these boxes or this container are called seed beds. Okay, now let's look at factors to consider when transplanting. Okay, the first thing you should know is water your seed bed thoroughly before transplant the seeds. Okay, make sure that you water it well before you transplant. Then you have to wait until late afternoon. Okay, that means transplanting should be done when it's not hot. Okay, during those, we can not only late afternoon, can also do it morning time or late afternoon. Okay, and then be extremely careful when you take out the seedlings. Okay, you have to be careful when you are taking out seedlings because you might damage them. And then do the transplanting as soon as seedlings have been removed from their boxes. Okay, once you remove them, at that moment you should transplant them. You don't have to wait and do it later. No. Okay, and then water the seedlings well after transplanting. Okay, once you are done, then you make sure that you water the seedlings well. Okay, let's move on. Now let's look at the advantages of transplanting seedlings. Okay, advantage, the first one, young seedlings are protected against harsh sun and wind. Okay, they are protected because remember they are just in containers or in boxes. You can remove it inside when it's too hot or it's too windy. Okay, and seedlings are protected against birds and animals. Okay, now let's go to disadvantages of transplanting. Okay, like I said, you might damage the seedlings when you are transplant them. Okay, if you are not careful, you might damage them. And transplanting require additional work. Just true. Okay, unlike when you are planting direct to the beds, but here you have to plant first in container, then later you transplant them into beds. That's why it requires additional work. Then if you transplant too early, the sun will damage your seedlings. Okay, that's why I say, if you remember, I told you transplanting should be done in the morning or later afternoon. That's why if you do it early, the sun will damage your seedlings. Okay, that's all for today. So we have come to the end of our lesson. Thank you for your time, and please take care of yourself, wash your hands, and stay home. Thank you again.